Hey everybody, welcome back to Is It Kino / Movies, a podcast about the act of SMOSH. I am Simian Jimmy, joined as always by my friend and yours, Hans Moleman.
Now you're doing it intentionally, Hans. I don't buy that.
Hans, you're muted, by the way. We're also joined by Low Res Wonder Bread.
So glad to be back here to talk about this epic film from 20th Century Fox.
And a man I found on the street corner, Eggy Eggman Rodriguez.
Yeah, I thought this was a mosh pit, just like the creators of SMOSH. They heard it wrong and they decided to stick with it. It's kind of how my life is. It started off wrong and I said, let's keep going.
So we've done about 10 movies, YouTuber movies together reviewing here. And I just want to say the two of you fucked up big time when you rejected our offer to review Ryan's World, the movie. And I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but 3 YouTuber movie reviews in a row, I have to say this is the best YouTuber movie. Ryan's World is now second best. You guys really missed out on some Kino, but I'm willing to say SMOSH the movie is by far the best one.
Okay, I'm going to strongly disagree. I think this might be the least enjoyable YouTuber film I've enjoyed thus far. But
well, you got to give me whatever drugs you're on to say that, because we watched a lot of Nostalgia Critic movies.
This made me crave Fred Part 2. I'll say that. And I obviously enjoyed Fred Part 1. And I want to finish that trilogy with or without the movies. I might just do it in my own.
No, we're doing Fred 2 next time for sure.
Which one is Night of the Living Fred? Is that the second one?
That's the third one?
There's Night of the Living Fred and Camp Fred, is that right? So 50%
Hans,
chance.
Are you having an estrogen energy drink?
No, it's like a White Claw thing. I needed alcohol after watching this fucking movie. I needed something. Fuck.
So am I the only one who thinks this is the best one then?
Definitely, but let's rewind real quick to Ryan's World, the movie, because I didn't even know this kid was a YouTuber. Literally the same day you brought it up, I went to see Alien Romulus, and I walked out of the theater, and there was a big poster for Ryan's World, the movie. I don't know anything about, so I just kind of was like, I think we're good. Like I didn't. You said he was what, an action figure reviewer? I didn't know he was a real YouTuber.
He's like the biggest YouTuber on the platform, biggest YouTuber whose movie we'll ever review ever.
Wow.
But I guess since we're not 8, I'm not surprised you haven't heard of him.
I thought that it was only exclusive for American theaters, so that's why I thought, well, I'm never gonna get it here.
Well, I could have filmed it on my phone and sent it to you.
Oh.
I think he's got an Indonesian crossover, maybe. So Asia's probably getting it, but maybe not Argentina.
Nah. Argentina. The quality of it. I was telling Laura before we started recording. The only copy of this movie that I was able to find was an AVI file that was maybe 720p, maybe. Being
Likewise.
Generous.
I want to know how you guys watched the movie, because it wasn't on streaming anywhere that I looked anyway.
So I Googled it, and the SMOSH subreddit had a piracy link, which worked really good. It was this, I'm not going to say what site it is, because we need something
good out there. No, you can say it.
Hold on, let me get the name right.
It's not Soap Today like last time.
Yeah, so it's like lookmovie2.to. That is the number 2. Lookmovie2.to had a super HD. It was actually the SMOSH subreddit had it there plain as day, like, hey, you can't get this anywhere else, so here's this piracy link.
And I can't imagine why the SMOSH guys would not want this easily accessible, because it was a beautiful story, a great film with good comedy, and Alex Winter, I might not be a fan of whatever the fuck he does, Bill and Ted, but I think he really brought it with this one. I think he proved he's a true auteur.
Yeah, SMOSH the movie's Alex Winter is what you're saying, right?
Sure.
That's how he should introduce himself. Yeah.
Alex Winter presents SMOSH the movie. Like that guy who put his name on his Butler movie. Who was that? He made a movie about the Black Butler. Yeah. Just put your name in the title because you're so proud of it.
Didn't Lee Daniels just put out that Possession film where what does Glenn Close say? I can smell your nappy pussy.
Yep. That's the next movie we're going to review. The Deliverance. The Deliverance is what it is. Yeah. Have you heard about this movie, Monkey?
No, I've never heard of this.
I think it's on Netflix.
It is.
I think. Yeah. Lee Daniels directed a movie where Glenn Close wears like demon makeup and says, I can smell your nappy pussy while she's being possessed or something. So
is she saying this to a black woman?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, it makes more sense.
Yeah.
They do
What
be
did-
having those nappy pussies down there.
What did Dalton tell us? Glenn Close plays an elderly. He used this word. I would never use this word, especially on an earlier episode of this series here. Coal burner. And she becomes possessed, right? She becomes possessed, and she says to some black woman, "I can smell your nappy pussy."
You know, is that exorcist moment, right? Is that your mom sucks cock in hell, and instead this one's
Cox.
cocks. Sorry, multiple. You're
cocks.
right. Yep. Yeah, this one is just her teeth are sharpened, which is weird. Because why would your teeth be so sharp if you're possessed? I don't understand why that makes sense. But I just want to see it just because of that line. I'm sure there's more than just that one. But I remember watching. I don't remember what the movie's called, but I remember watching a black horror movie on Netflix before, and the person that wrote it was a white guy, and the movie was just literally like, oh shit, oh okay. And if it's written by a white person, it's like, all right, well, I guess you have connections there to get away with writing a movie that says so many like expletives towards black people. And but yeah, I'm
Maybe that's
hoping
what
that this one will be fun.
SMOSH the movie was missing, was black people to receive such remarks. There's not a single person of color in this film except for Anthony Padilla.
What is he, Italian?
Padilla sounds Latin to me.
Well, actually, I have to fact check you there. There's a part in the film where an Indian child climbs on the hood of SMOSH's car and starts trying to defecate.
What? Wait, did I fall asleep during that scene?
Maybe.
They have an Indian shitting in the street in this movie, and I missed it.
Yeah, a little boy, a little fat boy at the beginning, right?
I forget white people all look the same to me. I apologize,
I
but
agree.
the SMOSH brothers, these guys, they live in the one SMOSH guy's parents' house, and the one guy, he just sits on YouTube and watches a woman get groped all day in a massage video, and the other guy's a pizza driver. So he delivers the pizza, and after they meet up at the house, they go to this arcade where there's children there bullying them, and there's an Indian child who basically calls them total losers, and they flex that they have $2. It happens right here, and so.
Right there.
The Indian child.
I completely missed that somehow.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay.
You guys see this and you don't agree it's the best YouTuber movie?
Yeah.
It's a strong moment for film among the YouTuber directors. I'll admit that much. But I think what this movie failed at especially is having... And I don't know why, because I know that SMOSH is a sketch comedy YouTube channel, right? These guys have no on-screen personality or charisma. They're total vacuums of that. And it felt, to me, like a derivative Fred the Movie. It's essentially Fred the Movie, but then you have a little bit of that third Ralph Seppi movie where we're jumping into the YouTube video timelines and being part of these videos, which is not like a terrible idea.
Yeah, it's
But the
basically,
execution's rough.
if you're familiar
Terrible
with like the
executed.
Fairly Odd Parents movie, Channel Chasers, where he goes into the TV and he's going to all the different channels. It's that, but it's SMOSH, and they go into YouTube. And every YouTube video exists in its own little pocket dimension where time never moves, nobody ages, and like it's almost like a time travel movie at the same time because they go back to an embarrassing moment that was captured on film, and they change all of
Whole
it.
arm went out of the door.
Did you see that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, my cat. Yeah, he wants to come in.
There was a whole cat limb that just crept under that door. That was really impressive.
Come on in, Choj.
He exists in his own pocket dimension called the hallway right now.
But you say this is derivative of Fred. Fred the movie is just torture. Like, show it at Gitmo. There's no humor. There's nothing to get out of that but pain. This movie
That's
has
crazy.
a lot of laugh out loud moments. Every single time somebody accidentally got hit with a broomstick, goes flying into a table, and then somebody drops glass and it shatters into their face. That happens 3 times, and I fucking died laughing every time. You cannot tell me that's not funny.
Well, it doesn't happen 3 times. It's the same time played 3 different times, right?
Yeah,
It's supposed to be the
I
same,
see it in the
yeah.
movie at 4 or 5 times because he does it with the janitor at the school at the beginning, and then it's.
And
I
you,
mean,
and you laughed out loud every time.
I really, really did. It was the choreography and editing just made it funny. And it's like,
is he lying? Is he
horrible violence and like people getting.
Frankly, I was surprised that he forgot about the Indian child shitting because I stood up and started screaming in the room. I was sitting right next to him. I got up and just started screaming when it happened. But yes, we both guffawed heartily at the physical humor. I'm saying now I know they're a sketch group. And to be honest, I watched some of their stuff back and they may be a few of their greatest hits, but I think that the timing for those physical comedy bits there was a few, and I thought they all landed very well.
Okay, well, here's why I think it's derivative of Fred the movie. You have a very delusional lead character trying to woo a girl who doesn't really know he exists or doesn't have the same perception of him that he thinks, their rapport they're sharing is in place. The other thing, the biggest thing, is Stone Cold Steve Austin. Okay, we have John Cena as the inspirational speaker to Fred in the Fred movies. What do we have here? Stone Cold Steve Austin in front of a green screen. Could not be bothered to show up to set. And he pops in every so often. He makes a Cold Stone Creamery joke. And I was stunned to find out that this movie was released in 2015. It feels much more like 2009 or 2010. And when they started referencing Psy and Jenna Marbles and all this late aughts internet culture stuff, I was like, wait a minute. This is later than that? Because it feels so antiquated for what the humor in this movie does in terms of pop culture references. And including Michael Ian Black that hard up for a paycheck that this is what he was doing not that long ago, not even 10 years ago?
Some people think that we sort of went off into a different dimensional rift when Trump went down that golden escalator in 2015. So maybe Smosh the movie is like the final capstone on the pre-Trump era of existence.
It's very possible.
Everything after this has just gone downhill.
Or uphill. I don't know. Based off, look, for me...
Up escalator, down escalator, who could say?
Watching this movie, it was only 80 minutes or something like that. It's not even a long movie, but I just kept looking at my phone trying to see how much time is left. It felt like forever. You mentioned earlier today in DMs you watched the AVGN episode. That movie, I think, is an hour and 55 minutes, and I feel like that went by faster than Smosh the movie, at least for me.
Yeah, Mumkey, I heard that you want to re-record that episode. Is that true?
Yeah, listen, we're 13 minutes in. Kino Corner's not going to hear this. I'm just going to say it. You guys reviewed the AVGN movie a couple years ago with Kino Corner and somebody named The Cinematologist, and it popped up in my recommended, so I gave it a watch the other day. Possibly the worst episode of movies, and that's not on you guys. You guys were great. The Cinematologist was great.
Who was not great? Was it Hans? Was Hans the culprit? I think maybe it was Hans.
Guys, if I come onto a podcast to review a shitty movie and I start bragging, I just got done reading Camus, guys. I'm reading Camus. I can't tell you one thing that's written in it or any of his philosophy. I just want you to know I'm reading it. And I'm going to talk about that. And, Cinematologist, you have an opinion? I'm going to talk over you and just keep going, and I'm going to drone on for about an hour. I think if you, count the dialogue in the podcast, 70% of the talking is Kino Corner. Less than 2% is Cinematologist. I genuinely felt bad, and I felt rage burning inside for this poor man, that Kino Corner would not shut the fuck up about shit that is irrelevant, and that he's just making himself laugh while all three of you stare awkwardly waiting for him to fucking stop.
I do. You know what? I do remember this. So this is the AVGN episode of movies from 2022 is kind of like the backdoor pilot to this little sub-series here we've been doing for well over a year now, reviewing these YouTuber movies. And actually, the Cinematologist just texted me. You guys can't see this. He just texted me right now saying, "Let's do it. Let's re-record it." James deserves reappraisal for his shenanigans. I'm sorry, Hans. I'm so sorry.
No, I don't want to rewatch that.
Maybe it
shit.
begins and ends with AVGN. But anyway, all that to say, so back in 2022, things were still shut down. We're still recording 4 episodes a week of movies and putting them out.
Wow.
We were doing so many. And somehow this movie came into the conversation because the cinematologist, Jacob A. Miller, has been, in the past, an ardent defender of not just James Rolfe, but Doug Walker. And he used to make the argument, his content used to be good. It used to be good. And we would look at him like, are you fucking nuts?
I'd say it's been getting better and better all 20 years.
Maybe. I mean, the production quality's gotten a tad better.
I mean, whether something's good or bad is almost irrelevant when I consider I've watched Nostalgia Critics The Wall 10 times in full. Like, whether I hate it or love it, clearly some part of me enjoys it because I can't stop watching it.
Do you just play it in the background and just do things?
I show it to people.
Or do you?
I love showing it to people. Like, it's addictive to me.
Is it your 2 girls, 1 cup? Dog Walker is your 2 girls, 1 cup?
No, I think on some level I might just like it. Like, there's some songs in there that I would rather listen to his version than Pink Floyd's.
Right. I think the worst part is when the guy from Slipknot shows up, and then he's like, "Yeah, Dog Walker is." He's like, "Dog Walker is cool. My son likes him." It's like, dude,
well, his son is playing him in the whole thing.
Yeah.
There's so many levels of kino and strange choices in it. Like, you get Corey Taylor, but then Doug sings the entire thing, and Corey doesn't get one song. Like, you gotta have balls to invite a professional singer and then do all the singing yourself.
Well, no, he was big dicking him, right? He was like, "Yeah, your son's my fan. Well, guess what? You're a singer. You don't get a fucking song. I get 20 songs." Yeah.
Eggy, what's your opinion of Nostalgia Critics The Wall? Am I right here? Is it true, Kino?
I mean, I am a big fan of experimental music. I'm one of those guys, I feel like, I read music theory or whatever when I was like a freshman in college and all this dumb stuff that's pointless. You get to a point, I think, where what is traditionally excellent starts to just get a little stale. I mean, it's objectively good and you can appreciate it, but sometimes you need Doug Walker to come and stick his hand in the cookie jar and contaminate it. And there's a new strain of mold that's about to create the best tasting cheese that's going to give you an acid trip. That's my opinion of Doug Walker's The Wall. Take me back to the cheese jar for another dose every so often, but not too much because I might get sick. You can't. Sometimes you just need the good. You can't. But sometimes you need to stray and dip your toes a little bit, and that's what Doug Walker's The Wall is to me. I'm dipping my toes in the cheese mold.
I think it for me is more like, instead of cheese, because I do like cheese. This is like getting high with like cat piss, where it's like, oh, I'm getting something out of it, but this stinks. Like, this is bad. Like, this is still bad, but okay, I get it. Because The Wall is probably the only Nostalgia Critic video, like not movie, that I've seen from beginning to end, and I am not a huge fan. I couldn't say I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of Dog Walker's big balls for alpha mailing Corey Taylor, and then Corey Taylor just taking it. But no.
I mean, my tolerance has gone up on Doug Walker. We've talked about this before, but I am subscribed to his YouTube channel now. I think the difference is I can't palate the Nostalgia Critic character. I can deal with Doug, the man himself. And you better get comfortable, because we are going to have to go and check out that horrible Linkara movie with the 3-minute trailer that explains the whole 2.5-hour film.
That reminds me, I'm going to just give one last thing here, too. I think compared to the other Doug Walker films, where it's just a veritable autism diagnosis convention all packed into one room as each person gets their single line, I feel like The Wall is more transformative. The music gives something else besides that, and I think that elevates it for me personally, even just for what it stands for as it is. I think it brings it above the other Doug Walker films because it just captivates me a little bit more for that, but that's my point.
And it's like a satiric parody of the original, written by somebody who does not understand the original, so he's taking the most surface level interpretation and trying to shit on it based on that. Like the part when Pink is kind of like the Nazi leader at the rally, Doug, he like draws a little thing on his face that says "person you hate," and he's ranting about how like, oh, going to school sucks, oh boo-hoo. Like, that's not what the album's about, dude. Like, so he's writing these songs trying to grill something that he doesn't understand, and it's It's just such a total mess. Hey, do you remember the final 10 minutes is like crazy CGI furry monsters start singing to him in a British accent and you cannot decipher any of the words they're saying? Like, it's crazy. Can we pull up the part of the wall when he's being attacked by the CGI monsters at the end?
Let's take a look at this.
It's
Isn't it
just
like
insane.
PlayStation 1 style models of creatures?
No,
Or am I misremembering?
no, it's crazy the amount of effort somebody put into this.
I was definitely blown away because I mean, I'm not saying that made the film any more enjoyable for me, but yeah, just like the shock, like where did this budget come from? I mean, he like credits them, was just like, hey, I'll credit, here's your exposure and for a reduced rate. I don't know, but yeah, it was completely bizarre, and it seemed like one of those things where I think his other films kind of have this too, although this was a much more quality iteration of it, where, hey, this is this guy I know who can do a cool thing, let's please shoehorn him in anywhere that fits, because why else is this animation going on?
Okay, we are taking a look.
It's like way at the end, Hans.
Yeah.
Channel awesome.
I'm pretty sure it shows you like the most popular parts. I'm pretty sure it's right when it spikes up.
Yeah.
Most replayed here.
Yeah, that's what people want to see, is this crazy shit.
Worthy feelings of an almost nature.
And not quite PS1 graphics.
I mean, this looks
feels
pretty
like
good.
Coraline or something. Like the animation
Yeah.
is not that bad.
It's insane. What does this have to do with the wall? Literally nothing at all. Like, it's a complete non sequitur from the first 30 minutes of the video. And we're probably gonna get. I know Doug is selling this on iTunes, so we might get copyright struck for this. Hans.
DMCA.
Suggest the sound. All right.
But I think we might have seen enough. I mean, you guys
Yes,
get
we've
it.
gotten enough of this. How long is the wall? Could the wall qualify?
40
no, it's not
minutes.
feature length. It's almost. It's right on the edge. All right.
If you saw all of like these dragons and furries and creatures, would you assume this is a parody of The Wall?
No.
No, what is
So it's
happening?
A weird Tim Burton Disney movie.
And I think this squirrel is like, there's like sexual tension between like the chipmunk squirrel with red peppermint
Doug.
coloring and Doug Walker.
I mean,
That's kind of kino though. I like the phones walking. That's pretty cool.
there's more effort put into this video than anything I've ever done. Like, and the fact that all that effort was put into something that's horrible is what makes it so intriguing.
Oh my God. I forgot about
Look
this
at him
bit.
go.
Hold on, no,
That's it.
oh,
There's Corey Taylor
Corey Taylor.
sleeping.
I just.
That's horrifying.
Well, let me.
Waking up and seeing that.
Speaking of Camus and great philosophy, I want to talk about the philosophy of rating a movie. Like, when you are giving a score on Letterboxd, do you try to give stars based on like objective film criticism, or based on how entertained you were by the movie? Because I gave The Room 5 stars, and I know it's a bad movie, but I got 5 stars of entertainment out of it. That's how I rationalize it. What do you guys do?
I think that entertaining the viewer is what is most paramount. And you can fail at so many of the technical aspects, but if it's entertaining, then it's a successful film, and that's it, period. So with an example like that that's so extreme in its many failures, 5 stars might be warranted. It's technically a legendary film. It wouldn't be crazy if somebody had rated Plan 9 from Outer Space 5 stars back in 1980 or whenever that, became a
would you
cult classic
agree
legend.
that I have a right to say, nostalgia critics, The Wall is a 5-star piece of content then? Because it is The Room of YouTube videos.
I mean, I think whenever I review anything on Letterboxd, I don't think of other movies that I've rated, let's say 4 stars or whatever. Like, I just think, okay, so did I enjoy this movie? And without comparing it to anything. So I think that, yeah, if you feel like you got more out of the Wall than, I don't know, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Definitely.
The first one
I'll never
think
watch
of.
that again. Never.
Yeah, right. So then, yeah, why not? That's how I review things.
if
Really,
you
it's just
try
like not
to-
even comparing it to
if
anything.
You try to follow a track of rationale and consistency. Like this is something that I do run into because I keep a ranked list to do my 10 best films of the year every year after I go see a 2024 film. And then I'll take a look at the list and I'll be like, all right, Challengers, 5 stars, and Caligula Ultimate Cut 5 stars, Perfect Days 5 stars. Deadpool and Wolverine, my enjoyment level of that was a 4-star value.
Me too.
Is that going in my top 10 at the end of the year? Well, it's not the same type of film. I don't know if I can really do that, but I'm not going to rate this at a 2 if I enjoyed it at a 4. So,
But I think from the year we're getting, we might be getting Deadpool and Wolverine in both of our lists by the end of the year.
Yeah, I started my list and there's only 4 movies in it so far. Like Deadpool and Wolverine's one of the 4 movies I would even consider putting on. But I haven't seen Challengers yet, so I'm sure that'll maybe make it on. But yeah, I feel like this has been a dog shit year. I can easily name 15 horrible movies this year, but 5 good ones is a bit of a stretch.
well, I think this has been an interesting year so far for movies, but you're right in that there's a lot of misses. Like I thought when 2024, we started going into 2024, there's so many auteurs that have movies coming out. And I cited 2024 is going to be the year of the punished auteur. I feel like that's been the case for the most part. With
I saw
being a big flop.
Megapolis is tracking to earn $5 million in its opening weekend.
I saw that too. I can't. That I don't believe that for a second. I think that's going to over exceed the 5 million number, but that would be another example. And just the fact they've gone after Francis Ford Coppola because they got a video of him like really trying to, get it in with a 25-year-old girl, even though his wife was like on her deathbed at the time. You gotta admire that. You really gotta admire that. He's still got the vigor at 85 years old to give a gal a poke. But she said it was consensual. She said, oh yeah, I know I look like I didn't want the kiss, but I'm fine with it. And so, all right, all those disappear. And they've tried many a hit piece. Furiosa, I thought was a good movie. George Miller directed that. Bombed. I saw the TV Glow. That's been a surprise for me. I know you liked it too, Mumkey, right?
That's my number 1 of the year so far, and I hated it while I was watching it. I didn't like it until after I thought about it at the end.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's
Yeah, I
actually fucking
rewatched it.
amazing.
I had to get someone, Ryan Jackson, who we had on the show. I had to have him explain what was happening because I just didn't catch anything that was going on. I was just like, this is fucking annoying and it sucks. And then after getting like the context of everything, I was like, oh, all right, let's rewatch it with like the context of the actual movie that I'm supposed to be watching and getting. And yeah, it's like a completely different movie when you see it with that context.
It's a very
really.
layered film, and that's not something I saw the movie in the theater. I didn't catch a lot of what he was saying. That there was writing on the walls that play into the grand scheme of the movie. I think it's an aesthetically charged film that worked for me, and Justice Smith is appalling on.
Yeah, I hate
I
him.
can't stand him. But
Ever since the Pokemon movie, Detective Pikachu, I've hated that guy.
Is that the biggest hate you've gotten on online, Loris?
No, the biggest hate he's gotten is when he was shitting on that Asian love triangle movie, The Cuck.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Actually, you know what? Hans is referencing, you're not as on Instagram, Mumkey, but I put up I reposted my tweet about Justice Smith, and it got something like 3 million views. That he's the worst part. When you see this kid pop up, you know you're in for a shit movie. And 3 million people saw it, and I got the Justice Smith army tearing me apart in the comment section. Somebody rated Mass Day. They found that on Letterboxd and gave it 1 star. Someone who definitely did not watch the movie. So I got a lot of hate from that. But the actual most coordinated hate was probably Past Lives, because I said, oh yeah, this is an evil movie. But now I'm looking at Greta Lee and that Calvin Klein ad, and I'm just thinking,
That's it.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Hans, pull it up right now.
But I kind of had a little bit of a reversal on Past Lives too, because her boyfriend, the director's boyfriend, that this movie was based on, wrote Challengers, and Challengers is like this weird kind of similar vibes going on with the movie. Like clearly they're both writing about some sort of throuple relationship, and that's a terrific film. That's my best film of the year thus far.
This is what changed your mind on this woman?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hashtag sultry.
She can direct me anytime.
Yeah, this 45-year-old woman looks very good for a 45-year-old woman. How
I'll
old is she?
take her.
Yeah, she looks like she can make some nice dumplings. I don't know. Why am I being racist towards my own people?
Should we give Smosh the movie at least like 5 minutes of discussion?
We ought to, yes. We definitely got, we said tonight maybe we'll do a B-Bang episode. I'm not so sure. This is a little bit of a merger of the two.
Yeah.
Hans, I know you got to wake up early, so we're not going to do B-Bang tonight. We will do it maybe later this week with you guys. We'll figure it out. But yeah, this is for Smosh the movie. And here's my next note on Smosh the movie. This movie has no heart at all. There is no spirit to this movie. It's clearly, and I watched a quick clip with Anthony Padilla where he was talking about the film to some guy who's also YouTube famous, and they have a show, I guess. It was like a recent clip. And the guy said, "Oh, I love Smosh the movie." And Anthony Padilla seemed very embarrassed about it. And he's like, "Oh, you really?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's so bad. That movie's so bad, Smosh the movie." And they all had a laugh about that. And I guess this was like, this was not their movie, really. It was all designed by whatever company that they aligned with to handle the Smosh brand and took over the Smosh brand. And 20th Century Fox, which again, you take a look at just the opening of the film and the graphics and the font, it's appalling, not appealing, excuse me, that they would allow such a low budget looking movie to come out from a major studio.
What was the budget? Like 1 million?
Good. I thought the trailer looked decent when we watched it on the last episode of this series here, and I was highly disappointed.
I mean, I guess it's hard to argue that the movie does have a soul on any level, but it's almost like the soulless nature of the comedy is what really won me over. Like people just getting horribly gored and bloody, like, out of nowhere over and over again, completely unnecessary. I dig it. I'm into some, I'm not going to say it's like lay dark humor, but it's not what I was expecting, certainly. And it is kind of ironic that the film about this guy had something embarrassing on the internet and he wants to get it scrubbed, and now the movie itself is like art imitating life, imitating art here, where now they're embarrassed of this movie and also want it to be scrubbed from the internet. It's like we could make a sequel about them deleting the film.
I think we're good on a sequel, personally. Actually, you know what? They have another movie that they did that they were actually in control of, and it's on YouTube for free. And I think it's a ghost movie, in fact.
That does sound familiar. That might have been straight to YouTube Red at some point.
Is it Camp Smosh?
No.
Night of the
that
Living
must be another
Smosh?
one. Uh-oh, is there a Smosh trilogy? Are we in for more Smosh?
I just wanted to mention one of Low-Res's initial critiques was he drew an analogy between in the Fred movie with Fred's neighbor and the obsession, and then it's what I'm going to call him Smosh number 1, whatever. I don't know what these guys are too well, but and his obsession with this woman being groped. I feel like his obsession with this woman's, I mean, like, it obviously is obsessive because his comments keep on getting flagged or whatever, but I don't know. I feel like I see where he's coming from, but I saw it more as like a porn sick kind of like freak. He has no job, does nothing except just his only other passion in life is making YouTube videos throwing milk water balloons at Harley from Epic Mealtime, who's the mailman.
Oh yeah, Harley's in this movie. That's how you know it's real quality. Is Harley Mortenstein pops up, just like in Tusk.
Yeah, and also, the one guy's name in the film is Ian, and that's like who is pranking him. So I thought, Ian is iDubbbz. Harley had a big arc where he went to do Creator Clash under iDubbbz' umbrella and beat the odds. So I was like, a little bit of foreshadowing here. But yeah, I didn't see it as more of like this unrequited love, even though like definitely the elements are there. But it's just considering the all very like internet angle that the film, like the internet lens that the film is under. I just seen this guy more as like a gooner freak. He was like the proto gooner back when YouTube used to have a little more freedom on it and you could watch these videos all day.
Well, the thing that bothered me the most was that they didn't even get YouTube right. Like, this is supposed to be a YouTube
logo.
comedy troupe. And yeah, and then, well, not just the logo, but at the beginning when he's interacting with a YouTube page, he's like, he obviously was recorded with a blank screen so that he could just react to whatever, but then they didn't care enough to make the screen match what he was doing. So there's a couple of times where he's writing a comment, but then the screen is just frozen on the top of the page. And it's like, you guys are coming from YouTube and you're not even showing how YouTube actually works. So it's just like, it's like the smallest effort you can put in it. And I don't think they cared, because for that whole scene where he's like you said, gooning for a video of a girl getting her butt
massage video.
Yeah, and it's like nothing but just her butt on screen. Like you don't see anything other than her butt just being massaged, and he's obsessed with it. But then, yeah, it's weird that the whole flagging comment, like that notification, like that doesn't exist. So I think that's one of the things that bother me, that it's like, okay, so you're coming from YouTube, like that's where you made it. And then you're showing me a version of YouTube that's not the real YouTube. So the effort at least should be there, I think, or it's like, that's where you're coming from. But even then it's like very low effort, whereas we're just going to record you doing things with the computer, but then the screen doesn't even match what he's doing. So it's just like, okay, so you don't care, so why would I care? You know, that's how that was my setup from like the first 10 minutes. I was like, okay, so I'm not gonna, like, who cares about
I
this
think
shit?
sometimes a certain level of laziness can be appreciated. Like the lazy joke of the CEO of YouTube is named Steve YouTube.
Steve YouTube.
And
Yeah, Steve
you know,
YouTube,
like
yeah.
his name is just YouTube. Like it's a lazy joke. And the fact that they put it in a feature film, I kind of gotta give them a little bit of respect for putting something so lazy and bad in their big project.
I did like the pre-Me Too joke of, hey, your cock's going to be under that desk. There's no secret portal under there. I did. I might have smirked at that. I didn't laugh. Certainly not as much as Fred the movie, but it was all right.
What about when
Well,
Michael Ian Black he superimposed his head onto every YouTube character towards the end? Wasn't that funny?
Or when he was wearing that superhero suit, and you can tell that those suits are supposed to be worn by people with muscles and in shape. So instead, it just looked like a fat cat standing on two legs, just skinny with a belly. It's great, yeah.
Yeah, I hate Michael Ian Black, and not even because he tweeted that he would personally kill every Palestinian child, but that didn't help either.
Wow.
Hey, you know more about this. What did he have to say about those children he wants to kill?
Well, I believe that Michael Ian Black. I mean, I guess.
Do you think his real name is Schwartz? Maybe.
Yeah, I think. Well, I believe he's been an ardent Zionist, but I guess it's been some years, and like in the original Trump years, he definitely went full derangement on social media. But I guess with the recent Israel-Palestine conflict, I don't know if he's still on a Zionist mode or if he's a little more tuned in with the conscious way of thinking now. But I know he was pretty ardently a Zionist 10 years ago. So, but I really enjoyed. He was very quirky on I Love the 70s, 80s, and 90s on VH1, which is how I was introduced to him back 20-something years ago. He was very quirky and was great comic relief against the drug-addled brain of these former celebrities they had on there. They were like, oh, yeah, 70s was cool.
He came out David Lee Roth and...
Well,
Hal Sparks. Do you guys remember Hal Sparks? How his whole career was just that show. And then he's like, oh, I wonder what Hal Sparks does outside of these shows. And he's just like,
we looked
nothing.
him up on Cameo maybe about 5 months ago, and it's exactly what you would expect from Hal Sparks' cameo. I mean, Michael Ian Black's always been funny. He was part of, what was that MTV show, The State?
Stella.
And then, he started with The
Oh,
State.
right,
then
the
he did
beginning.
Stella
Yeah.
with Michael Showalter and David. David.
Bald guy.
Keckner?
Glasses. No.
Duchovny?
No.
David.
No, another Jewish
David
name.
Cross?
No, another Jew.
No.
Star of David?
Wayne. David Wayne?
David Wayne.
That's what I'm thinking of, yeah. Stella. Yeah, he was big in that alternative comedy from the early 2000s, like the whole Patton Oswalt, Brian Posehn scene, California, but then they were all broken by the Trump election, and then after that, it's just I don't really.
At least
I wanna
Oswald,
hear what
you
have
know,
to say.
he popped back
Yeah.
to that, or was that show, that 1% show? Did that come out after? Is that recent?
Patton Oswalt, yeah, he's hosting on Amazon Prime. He's hosting some game show.
Yeah, he bounced back after that suspicious death, and his seething. But
Is he thinking about Ghostbusters and James Rolfe? That was a time. I'd love to make a little documentary about Patton Oswalt versus AVGN.
What is this? I never heard of this.
When AVGN put out his video, he said, Ghostbusters 2016, no review. I refuse.
Yeah.
And Patton's
right,
just like,
remember that? That was very embarrassing.
Isn't
Yeah, I
that
remember
you
that.
about the AVGN movie, Hans, doing it a second time?
Well, it's not like I don't want to review it because there's
refuse.
women in it.
that's not what James fucking said. It's just
No, Patton misrepresented him completely.
Completely. Patton Oswalt is 100% the villain in this interaction, and that's why I'm glad he was punished with people saying, of course Patton's gonna support the Ghostbusters, his wife is in it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fuck Patton Oswalt. I don't care if he went on Red Letter Media, he sucks as well.
No, they're all the same. And that's the thing. Like, I used to like all of these comedians in the early 2000s. So I was like, well, alternative comedy, oh, cool. They can make fun of things that I find. And then if you keep up with all of them, like all that UCB, all that shit from like the early 2000s, like there's not one of you that's still doing anything interesting, really. They're all just like broken by this man. It's really sad.
turned into social media addicts, just like so many 3-year-old children with iPads.
Well, I did want to say one thing, too, we didn't get into, is that Kino Corner was clearly drunk on that AVGN the movie episode. I'm pretty sure he showed up drunk, and that's why he had to explain the literally meme. And he was explaining to us that he explained the literally meme to his mother when he was watching Joker or something. What was he watching?
Oh, man,
He's
I wish I
watching
remembered
somebody kill
anything.
people, and his mom's like, you better not say that he's literally you. And that was the point when he was like cracking himself up laughing, and everybody was just staring.
They're just,
Oh, man.
it was
I
a
don't
late
even-
show, too. That was when we were
Yeah.
recording at like 12. So it was, everybody was tired already, and we're like, yeah, we got to do this AVGN episode. We just watched it today, and then Kino was Kino.
And yeah, the truest cringe was him bragging that his movie cost 1/5 the amount of James's movie. Kino, you wasted 70 grand on the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen. What are you fucking bragging about?
Where's the new movie? Where's the Charles Carroll movie that looks good?
Oh, yeah.
That he shot like a year ago is what I'm curious about.
Where's the movie he told Eggy he'll be the star of? Good question.
Well, he's busy. He's not gonna listen to this. We're 40.
No.
Where are we? 55 minutes. He's
We're
busy.
over an hour in.
Okay.
what? We're like 40 minutes in.
All right. He's busy having someone finally touching his penis in his life, right? So, like, I understand if he doesn't want to like pay attention to anything else, because finally someone wanted to touch his penis. So, hey, Kino, go ahead, go have your penis touched for as long as you can, I guess. But I think that's what he's up to now. At least from what I see on my social media, just like, oh, okay, so Kino has someone that can touch his penis now, as opposed to before where it was just like him looking like this on every picture he would post. It was like, all right, I hope he's okay. I
He was
hope
on
he's
that
fine, but
workaholic
yeah.
on his Grizzly.
I feel like we've reviewed Kino Corner as a human more than the movie, but and the thing is, I came in here thinking this is the best YouTuber movie. I gave it 3 stars in Letterboxd, because at the time I was watching it, I felt entertained and I was laughing consistently. But now that I'm sitting here with you guys, I'm struggling to defend it because I can't think of any like good qualities of the film. It was just like, it was inoffensive enough and funny enough that, you know, by default, it was the best for me.
It gave me
Look,
very.
I think the more we cover these movies, the more we're gonna find one person's gonna stick out. Last time it was me, right?
Yeah.
This time it's you.
I think
Next
Eggy
time
kind of
I'm-
liked it, didn't you?
I was gonna say, I feel that there was a Sandler-esque quality, you might say, to the film, where it was enjoyable in the same way that takeout meals are enjoyable, but it certainly was no labor of love feast. It was no 9-course meal where the plates are the size of like a coaster. Yeah. So for what it was, and also the fact that it's centric to that YouTube period, into that internet culture period, which was my college years, I think in the same way where I have a bit of a endearing quality with the Nostalgia Critic films, like they're unbearable, but like when I sit down and I can kind of choke along with it because these are obviously maladjusted individuals such as myself, so there's that endearing quality there. I think the fact that it's so referential to a certain period of internet culture and history, even if it doesn't strike all the right notes with being true to form, like Hans said, with the strange user interface, it's not being shown properly. The fact that when they show up to the YouTube offices, there's a logo that's on the top of the building that is completely never been seen before.
Oh yeah,
it's nothing.
That random AI generated looking logo.
Yeah, and we say to each other, we're like, oh, okay, well that's weird. They wouldn't clear it. And he walks in, and it's the actual YouTube logo is on the wall. So what the fuck was that?
Yeah, why'd they have a fake one outside?
They got a $5 Indian to do it. That's why.
But why not just use the real one in both places?
Yeah, I was confused by that because I was like, wait, when has that logo looked that way? And if they're using their real name, then couldn't they just use like the real logo?
Yeah, I thought this was made in conjunction with YouTube. So like, why would they not have permission to use it?
Yeah.
Did you like? There's an intern with a bunch of scorching hot coffees trying to walk into the YouTube building, and twice in the movie, one of the Smosh guys opens the door and smashes him, and like you hear the sizzle of the coffee burning his skin, and he's screaming in pain. Maybe I just love watching innocent people suffer in horrible ways, but like every instance of horrible violence got me good.
I enjoyed it the first time I saw that, actually, because it caught me off guard. And then
you don't think when they followed up at the end of the movie, it's also funny? Like this happened to him again? Like he went back to get the new copies and then like he just gets hit again?
It was fresh for me the first time. The second time, it was what it was. Sorry, Hans, go ahead.
I think the biggest problem with this movie is that it feels like they were just trying to take advantage of the fame from these two guys that they had on the channel, because there's not a movie in this movie. There's not a story that feels like a movie.
Oh, I can tell you the story, Hans.
So the story, let me see if I can. So the story is Anthony's our main guy, right? He works for a pizza place where, for whatever reason, they transformed his car into a melting pizza slice. Which for someone that's making $6 an hour, it's weird that they would do that, but fine, I can completely turn my brain off, and I love the car, fine. And then you have Ian, who's just kind of a bother for most of the movie. He's not helpful. He's just there, and he's there to just make the story a little more complicated than it should be. But I don't think there's much of a story there, because whenever anything happens, it just feels like, okay, so we're just gonna stretch this story a little bit more, but it doesn't really matter. So the whole thing is about him wanting to delete this video of YouTube because the microphone goes into his ass. Is that it? Like the stand goes into his ass and he doesn't want people to see.
It's like Star Wars kid, right? Like that Star Wars kid, and he's embarrassed by
Pokemon,
the video.
But it's like a fake Pokemon song that he's singing at the beginning, and then he does a flip and the microphone goes into his ass, and he doesn't want the girl that he likes to see the video because then she's not gonna like him anymore. But then he doesn't show up to the thing that
the 5-year reunion.
No. The moonwalk thing, right? Where the first time they interact and she's like, oh, I'm gonna be doing moonwalking for charity, and then he's like, oh, I'll be there or whatever. So like the first thing is like he doesn't show up for that thing, so the girl is like, oh well, whatever, and then they meet later. Or I just feel like the way that the story progresses, it doesn't feel like they had a full story to go on. It was more like, well, we'll just go with it as the movie goes along, and then however long it is, then whatever, we don't have like a specific beginning to end movie. We don't know where the movie's gonna go or anything. It's just like whatever this character does, okay, we'll see. Because nothing that happens to this character kind of there's no change. Yeah, there's no change for the character. The characters don't learn anything. They don't really change.
No change. My goodness, Hans. He goes back in time in YouTube to stop himself from embarrassing himself. But then they start beating up their past selves, and then that changes all of history and reality. So when they come back, now they're world famous for the clone fight video, and they live in a mansion, and one of them has like 18 girlfriends, and a bunch of hot chicks in bikinis walk in. Okay, you can't say they didn't change. He went from poor with no GF to rich with 18 GFs. That's a character arc right there. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
My bad. You're right. He went from incel loser to Coxman,
Supreme Chad.
to I have to have sex with 18 women every day. I don't know.
Hey, Fred the movie did not give me a close-up of a big butt, big massage. Did not give me 18 bikini-clad women. Those elements alone give me some fanciful feasting for my eyes that none of these other movies did. Could you imagine if Doug Walker put his women in fucking bikinis for these movies?
These women aren't good looking enough for that. I don't.
These women look just like the man. It's like
listen,
Doug Walker's just gonna link Karen.
I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna stand up for the nerd girls. It would have enhanced. For the most part, I don't think he really had any chunkers up in that thing. I think most of them were built all right. You know, even if maybe a little saggy, it is what it is. But it wouldn't have been no rhinoceroses, so it might have gave me an extra half star if Doug Walker did that. I just want to say, I think, speaking towards the end of the film, Steve YouTube shows up. He's a loser now after the world changes. His name is now Steve YouTube. It just happens to be spelled the same. But he's delivering a pizza, and he says, "I got your sausage right inside this box," and it is his penis. And without skipping a beat, as they're all revulsed, the SMOSH father just starts munching down on a piece out of the box. I think that moment really encapsulates the sense of humor that is present throughout the film. If you have got nothing else from this review, imagine that scene. Sorry to spoil it for you, but just without missing a beat, not like there's nothing he did, just like quick cuts to home, and then it's like back to whatever else is going on, eating some dick pizza. And that's, like I said, I feel like it's what comes to mind for me is like a Sandler-esque sort of quick punch, crude humor, and I enjoy it. I enjoyed it.
What about that trans joke at the end? Where the girl is like, "Oh, my name is fucking John," or whatever, and then Ian goes, "What?" Because the girl is a guy.
Oh, is that the very last moment?
They make the reference earlier on where the dad is like, he makes a comment along those lines, but it's okay if your girlfriend's got a penis or whatever he says. So it's a callback.
Yeah. Right. I just thought it was brave that they ended on a trans joke. And when did this movie come out?
That was like the year before or the year of Caitlyn Jenner, so it was very of the moment.
Right.
And it wasn't last time it could have been a joke.
Right.
Have you guys seen...
It wasn't treated as like an advantage. It's not like he was like, "Oh, that extra penis will be helpful," which is how they would play it now. You know, it was more like, "What? What?"
Speaking of that, Hans, did you guys see the trailer for Will Ferrell's new movie?
Oh my God! Yes, I did. I saw that in front of Caligula, the ultimate cut. And
they played a trailer for that in theaters?
Yeah.
I thought it was a Netflix movie.
It is, but Netflix has a deal with some of the theaters in New York where they'll get screenings for Oscar eligibility. So we got
would you like to tell Hans what he's in for?
Oh, wow. So he's friends with this writer from SNL, and they've been friends for about 40 years. And then suddenly, the writer is one of his closest friends for a long time. Kind of like you're my closest friend. It would be like in 10 years you hit me up and saying, "You know, I know you've known me as Hans, but now I'm Hannah."
Oh.
And do you want to go on a road trip and maybe explore my transness with me? And I'm like, I'm an open-minded guy. I know I'm older, but it's important for me to get to know my friend Hannah.
No, that's the last thing I want from my buddy. Like, no, dude. I don't want to. No.
You want to pull up the poster maybe to this, just so you can get a sense, a vibe of it?
I think
Sure.
people are just very weak because I saw comments with like 40,000 upvotes saying, "Oh, this trailer made me weep. Oh, it's so beautiful. This is what we need right now." And it's just a 70-year-old trans person. Like, they go to a bar, some black guy says, "Oh, what's up, bro?" And the trans person says, I'm not a bro." And then the guy says, "Oh, sorry." Like, they put that in the trailer, so that's one of the most impactful scenes in the whole movie, is that they got misgendered, and then the person said sorry. This made people weep.
Yeah,
Like, how fucking weak are these humans?
People in my movie, women in my movie theater fell hook, line, and sinker for the trailer to this, and I was just there.
That's not
shaking
Dana
my head in
Carvey,
the
is it?
front row.
Not anymore.
Dana's Diana now.
Are we sure
Wait,
this isn't
so-
a Mike Myers movie?
I mean, who gives a fuck?
Exactly.
Like, honestly, like, who cares? Like, just do your fucking thing. I think bringing attention to this, it's worse. Because then it's like, oh, okay, so that because see, it does look like a fucking old Jewish lady, right? Like, you wouldn't confuse, well, maybe not this picture. Maybe, hold on. Maybe not
Looks
that
like-
It looks like an old man with long hair.
Looks like Dana Carvey got electrocuted.
Well, no, this looks like just like an older Jewish lady, right? Like, I could.
That was
I could
before the
believe
transition,
that.
Hans.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, I mean, if that was one of your friend's mom, like, would you be like, I wonder if that lady has a penis? Like, no, she looks like,
Yeah.
beaten up Jewish
But
lady.
the old element of it does a lot. And look, if they pick like the most estrogenized photo here for variety.
Yeah, in motion in the trailer, it looks a little bit
this
different.
doesn't-
No,
that looks like the same person. Yeah, that's So the movie's a documentary about how Will Ferrell.
He's the greatest
opens
man who
up-
ever lived because he accepted
he
his
opens-
friend's transition.
He opens up his 70-year. How old is Will Ferrell? Like 60
he's
something.
probably about 60. Do you want to pull up the trailer, Hans? Do you want to see for yourself what we're talking about? Honestly, it might be an educational experience for you.
For me.
For you.
Okay. Sure. Hold on.
Let's not do the IMDb 240p
No,
trailer.
that
Can
one,
we
no,
do
no.
a-
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
pulling up a YouTube one. Hold on. Because
All right, we're going to be taking a look at Will and Harper, one of the most talked about documentaries of 2024, soon to hit Netflix. Didn't you say you love the 90s era of SNL? So this might actually be up your alley, Hans.
yeah, this is not. Yeah, we're
I
gonna get
like that.
we're gonna get Chris Kattan playing this guy as Mango. We're gonna get Rob Schneider playing Tranny. Okay.
Hi there. I'm Will Ferrell, one of the greatest actors in the world. A long time ago, back when I was at Saturday Night Live, I met a guy who was hired as a writer the same week I was hired. He wrote a bunch of sketches for me and eventually became the head writer of SNL. And over the years, he became one of my closest friends. And then one day, I got this email. Hey, Will, something I need you to know. I'll be transitioning to live
Hans is
as a
laughing
woman.
at it like an SNL.
It's already funny to him.
My friend,
I just-
I'm not Andrew Thiel anymore.
Just what if I get that email from Lores someday?
I just did this joke about you. You're the
know.
trans one, not me.
Right now.
Harper, would you want to do a road trip as this new version of yourself?
For what?
Yeah, Lores, am I right to be cynical about this? Like, Will Ferrell, he sees
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle and all these comedians get canceled for making a trans joke, so he says, I'm going to be the
Yeah.
comedian who, not only do I support my friend being trans, I'm going to make a whole movie about it. We're going to go on a big road trip, and I'm going to film every second so everybody knows how accepting I am of this, and you can never cancel me. Don't look at the Epstein files. I love trans people. I'm Will Ferrell. Like, is that what he's doing here? He just wants to look woke and based? Because who the
I
fuck
think he
cares about this?
He's manipulated himself into believing this is for a bigger cause than what it actually is, but it's exactly that. That's the root of it.
Well,
And
okay.
honestly, Will hasn't had a hit in a second. So he's probably thinking, I need a new career move. Maybe people take me a little more seriously here. Although in the trailer, he seems like he's on every second of it. He doesn't seem like he's being sincere.
That was my point here. So I'm not listening to it. I'm watching just as you guys, but it seems like he makes fun of him for being trans, but then the reaction is not.
No, it's a woman joke. It's like, oh, now that you're a woman, are you a worse driver? Like the safest trans joke you could ever possibly make. And even then the trans person is like disgusted and offended by it.
Well, exactly. So then he's like, what's the appeal here other than...
It's to let all the 60-year-old men out there know it's not too late. You can get into the women's bathroom.
No, that is so... Oh, fuck you. Sing! But I am. Woo! Yeah. Oh.
Because, I mean, if it was played as, like, we have these two friends... Because I feel like if I was transitioning and Lores was making jokes about my transitioning, I'll be like... Yeah, I'm fucking bald, and yeah, I have to wear a wig, and I have like pecs that I have to turn into tits now, I guess. So if you make fun of me, then I can see an hour and a half documentary about him just making very inappropriate jokes and me taking it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. But then, and I will watch that and enjoy it. But then something like this, where it's just like, it was going to be Will Ferrell making not offensive jokes, but like as far as he can get to the point where it's not, where it's offensive. And then the trans person just being like, that's not funny, Will.
Yeah.
That's not, you know what? That's actually not funny. So it's like, why? Like, what's the fucking point of this shit?
The point is to make Will Ferrell look good.
Uh-oh. Chud's about to go.
Yeah, not a bro.
Oh, is this it?
Yeah.
Oh, is this? Oh, is that the moment? Oh,
maybe
I'm
that was
sorry.
not a black guy. Maybe I misremembered.
Yeah, you reimagined him as a black guy.
Harper, how you doing? Nice to meet you, bro. Hey, not a bro, though. The she, but that's okay.
Yeah, I think you can call women bro. You're just
bro
being a
is funny.
fucking
Yeah,
crybaby.
it's like dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it must be one of the greatest scenes in the movie because it's in the trailer. Yeah, just like saying, "Oh, I'm so scared to go out in public places. I'm a trans person. I can't go to a race track in Texas." And then everybody else around them's like, "What the fuck? Yes, you can." Like you're just making up problems for yourself.
Oh no, you know that very feminine thing to do? Go to races in Texas. Yeah, those dirty. Not even NASCAR. It's just like dirty fucking mud. Yeah. You know, it's fine. I mean, I'm sure they'll approve my gender. Who cares?
Attending a race, that's anxiety-driven behavior. Having a documentary centered around your transness, peachy keen, that's fine.
Yeah, hey, just being exposed to all of these Hollywood people and hoping that they're not uncomfortable with my all of a sudden I have a vagina but not really thing. That's what we're seeing. But me interacting with like the real world, we're not gonna see that because why would you want to see that nobody actually gives a fuck about me?
I just want to say, from this side profile and this screenshot here, I can see why this person went to be a writer instead of an actor. No matter what, whatever was going to be born here was not going to be looking very attractive at the screen, unless they wanted to play the real life Goblin in Harry Potter. But either way.
Oh, is that a Dr. Disrespect costume I just saw?
He's trying to. Oh, are we getting uncanceled? I got somebody.
I'm playing chess, not checkers, folks.
Yeah, you know that underage girl he was messaging is actually a boy, so it's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
That's the sequel, Dr. Disrespect to 16-year-old trans. Listen, guys, maybe this isn't for you, but you know, I'm here to listen.
I'm learning, guys.
This is my number one donator. It's a 16-year-old transitioning boy, and you know, I decided to meet up. And here's this is our chat history. All right, let's go get in this car together. It's legal in that state.
we just wanted to meet up for a foot long in that convention. You know, we're buddies. It's a tuna. Yeah.
So we're gonna review that film then? Is that a YouTuber movie?
I was literally just gonna say, no, it's not a YouTube movie, but I think we got to review that movie now.
Yeah, we'll probably get canceled for being transphobic, but like my main point is I don't care. Like that's the whole point is I don't care, and nobody else should. You can wear whatever fucking clothes you want and be whoever you want to be, but do you need to make a movie about it? Like, is that the only way you can feel self-confident in yourself, is to brag about it in a film and that, oh, I'm friends with Will Ferrell and he accepts me? Just the fact that you expect everybody to care makes me think you're a narcissist. That's kind of my attitude about all of them.
There's studies that I think will back that up, that narcissism is one of the most common traits among trans people. I also think a lot of it is... What do they call it? Oh God, there's like a 3-letter term for it. What is it?
BPD?
FAG?
HIV?
You're thinking of AG...
AGP.
Yeah.
I think there's an AGP element.
Autogynephilia?
Yes, of being viewed as the sexual female form and sexualized. You know, I think that's the goal, really, for Harper in this movie.
Why? You're 70. Why do you want to be sexualized? You're an old lady. Like, that's just fucking weird. That's not it's not just the, I'm transitioning at 60 where, you're fucking gross.
It's a little too late.
But yeah, it's like, that's pretty young. You're not going to be 60 and be like, okay, finally someone's going to be able to destroy my anus. No, because if you're 70, that shit is not going to go back to normal ever. So that's like, that's like something that Bumpy, how old are you? 29. Yeah, that's something that a 29-year-old would do so that his asshole can go back to normal in his 30s. But if you're 70, like, that's not, that's not stunning and brave. That's
But see, I don't think it goes back to, I don't think it ever goes back to normal after repeated abuse. I'm pretty sure the gay guys who are in their 50s and 60s, they have to like wear diapers because shit will leak out of their ass as a result of pleasure.
I'm going to have to throw my scientific fact-check research of spending too much time online. So yes, I know that is true. Those muscles are not the kind that repair.
Vagina.
It's a one-and-done situation, especially if you're what's Zier's name, Harper or whatever. Probably got one good session, and it's probably over with after that.
Was that with Will Ferrell, like in a hotel room on the road trip?
That's the part. They don't have a Red Band trailer out, but
Yet Will Ferrell should have to fuck his friend to prove he's not transphobic.
I mean, we're talking about affirmation. What's better affirmation than a rich, famous celebrity going to town?
Yeah, you know what? I think that should be the proof. It's like, let's see how much do you support? Are you gonna suck it? Are you gonna fuck it? Or are you gonna let it fuck you? Like, which one of the three? Which one of the three are you? Let's see.
All of the above.
Yeah, well, that's the virtuous.
That's the first act,
that's number
the second
one.
act, and the third act.
Yeah, that's the statue there. That's where you get a statue outside of a Planned Parenthood. I don't know.
Planned Parenthood has a statue of Will Ferrell sucking off his...
Now that's Kamala's America I can believe in.
Yeah, that's right. Bring down George Washington's
statue?
What's the word? Statue, thank you. Statues, because he was racist. And let's just get, Will Ferrell sucking off his friend statue. Yeah.
Should we... Is there a way we can dig through this writer's history on SNL? Maybe did they ever make any transphobic sketches back in the day? Or maybe there were signs, like, is he making Will Ferrell's character wear a wig back in the 90s? We got to take a look. There might have been signs all along.
It's worth exploring. What is Harper's writer name for SNL? Do we know?
Well,
let's see. So I got their IMDb pulled over here. It's not gonna tell you which sketches, I don't think.
Andrew Steele is this person's previous name.
Andrew Steele?
Yeah.
And they went from Andrew Steele to Harper. Andrew Steele feels like an action star name.
I'm surprised they didn't go Andrea Steele, because that's what they usually do, just feminize their name. Mm-hmm. So he wrote that Mexican soap
The Ladies
for Will Ferrell.
Okay.
How about... wow, he did jokes for the Tom Brady... she did jokes for the Tom Brady roast? Excuse me.
Yeah. So it's not a very impressive...
What do you... The Ladies... You know what probably happened is Harper Steele was probably thinking about getting that Tim Meadows BBC, and that's why she wrote The Ladies' Man. Doug also.
Yep.
Yeah. Doug's BBC.
I think that would be Skeeter's BBC.
Oh yeah, Skeeter was his POC friend, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
He was the most colored
Yeah.
man I've ever seen in my life, as a matter of fact.
Let's see, which SNL sketches did Harper steal?
It's not gonna pop up under Harper Steele, dude.
Oh, wait.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Never mind.
Oof.
Nothing specific.
Was that a woof I heard?
She was promoted to writing supervisor in the second half of 2001. Oh yeah, there's no.
Nothing specific. Try
No.
the given name.
What is it, Andrew?
Yeah. Okay.
13 years.
Monica
Riding My
Lewinsky, Riding My Donkey, that Andrew Steele wrote. Okay.
Okay, go to 30 beloved SNL sketches and who created them, because Andrew Steele was a staff writer for it looked like a decade or so.
And the head writer for a bit.
Yeah, so you're going to see that name come up a lot. Ladies' Man.
So
very
Ladies'
staff.
Man.
It is actually just those two. I can see it in the Control
Oops.
F up there. That's the only one that's credited.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Okay. I feel like we're getting nowhere, guys. Should we just call it a day?
No.
You know, we're trying to
Not-
be as
not very
transphobic
impressive.
as possible, but you know, I'm just running out of material.
I think we're trying to give this person credit, and we're failing at it because it's not out there. It's just
Well, no,
like
we're trying to give Smosh the movie its due, obviously.
That's true.
What this episode's about. And I think in order to do that, you have to acknowledge the transphobia of the film. And in order to do that, we have to think about trans people and shine a spotlight on them to make up for the sins of Smosh the movie.
I agree. So if you guys decide to come up to the Mass State Lottery screening that we're going to have in November, I will be wearing a dress. So hopefully,
Yeah, I did want to talk about that. I was going to save it for B-Bang, but I guess, you know, you just brought it up. Hans is coming in November. Aggie, should we make a road trip, much like Will and Harper, and go meet the man himself?
Okay. Sounds good to me. I'll keep on doing my gaming streams to pay my bills instead of getting a real job, and I'll be free and available.
Yeah, I can't wait. I need to see this
Hell
6'3" towering bald man, you know, stare straight down to look at me, and he'd be like, "Oh, that's what Mumkey looks like in real life." Oh, I can't believe I even gave him the time of day.
No, but is it 6'5" according to my IMDb?
Yeah,
Lawrence?
6'5",
Thanks.
which
Yeah,
will really
thanks.
sell the dress that you show up to the Mass State Lottery premiere.
I think most of my rage about Will and Harper is not that it exists, it's the reaction I saw to it of people acting like this is a necessary, beautiful, like life-changing film, when the trailer we just watched is so just bland and milquetoast and basic. It's somebody who thinks that they're going to be victimized, going out in public, never getting victimized once. If it happened, it would have been in the trailer, I fucking promise you that. The closest they could possibly get was a guy calling her bro. Go to the fucking Texas racetrack, and the whole drama is, I think they will reject me. When in actuality, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares. None of those Texas
Also-
people in the stands said a thing, because who gives a fuck?
Also, you were head writer for SNL in the 90s, so I'm sure your bank account is looking very nice at this point. So you being a victim because someone might misgendered you because you have a gigantic nose and a very Jewish man face. Sorry, you're not a victim. Like, that's not victimhood. That's just like, well, it would be like me wearing a wig and expecting everyone to be like, hey, look at that beautiful curly hair on that Chinese man. Like,
You
that
know what?
makes.
This makes me think, and we can tie this into YouTuber movies. Now, are you guys familiar at all with Mike Matai and his one spin-off show where one of the AVGN goons, I don't know who, maybe, I don't remember what the name was, maybe Ryan, just started showing up wearing women's jewelry, and then suddenly for the last episode showed up in a dress and a women's necklace, and Mike Matai was just like, Anyway, so this is the end of our series here, and it was one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen in my entire life. Can we look this up real quick, Hans?
That was
Mike
Lynchy and
Mackay.
Kino, in my opinion, but I remember when it happened. Yes, I do remember that.
Was that the Inspector Gadget review?
No, they did like a roundtable. It was not. I don't know if it was Cinemassacre, but it was like a podcast roundtable kind of.
So James
thing.
Rolfe had a podcast right around the time COVID happened with what is commonly referred to as the Fats, and it obviously flamed out, didn't work out, and it became Hack the Movies using this like the same set. And one of these guys who was an editor for James would do a show. I think it was a weekly podcast with Mike Mackay for Mike Mackay's Twitch, or it got uploaded to YouTube. I'm not exactly sure. I found out basically with the finale episode. But this episode is one of the most disturbing things. It is the antithesis of Will and Harper.
So it was not a bit. This person actually transed out?
No, people thought maybe it's a bit at first because it kind of snuck in. So this is, all right, you're seeing the guy as everyone knew him in the intro
It's
here.
good.
Okay, let's play the audio too. But no, it's not a bit. And he had a wife and kids, basically.
To the final episode of Talk About Games.
Did they deepen his voice?
And today we're talking about the end of this show. Yeah.
I think this is a YouTube poop.
This is a YouTube poop or something
So,
of the episode. This is not the actual episode.
Ryan and I both really like doing this show, for the algorithm. No, this was a very.
Oh my God! What the?
deal is?
Is Ryan the one who got fired for plagiarizing Monster Madness?
I'm not gonna bullshit
Yeah,
you
maybe.
guys.
Okay, this is.
This hope and optimism completely gone.
Hours.
There's a few you played at 40 plus.
Yeah, and I mean that's really cool. And
Oh, okay, Loris, what will you do?
This is
What would you-
AGP.
I honestly, I watched the real video of this with Mike Mackay reacting, and he's literally just like office camera looking, like the Jim Halpert face the whole time. He's just like, "Can you believe this shit?" He's not. He's saying it without saying it. He's saying it with his eyes. He's not taking it seriously at all. If I would
man.
react the same. I would imagine. They took it
They
down.
They probably took it down. Yeah. Oh,
Here
lovely.
lies-
James Rolfe coming to being balding.
You see
video.
something?
Yeah.
That's-
Well, the Talk About Games is the channel. Here lies Talk About Games. I mean, is that
Yeah, that might be the
final
last
episode
one.
right there?
Yeah.
The one with Beavis and Butthead on.
Which one?
Back
Yeah.
down.
It's the channel right there.
This one?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
take a
gotta be
look
it.
at that.
Let's see if that's it.
Okay. Oh man.
Just high
We're gonna see a
energy,
big change
happy
here?
Opening, smiling, laughing, and then let's juxtapose that with reality. Reality setting in hard.
Here we go.
Here we are.
welcome to the final episode of Talk About Games. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Mike. And
But you're still Ryan, though. You just look like that as
End
Ryan.
of this show.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan is not a
So
gender
good
name,
news.
right?
That's good news.
So
Could be a guy or
Ah.
Ryan.
girl.
Brian,
Oh, I guess so.
really like
I don't
doing the
know.
show. I love
If
doing
you
the
write it with an
show.
I
Like,
think it's
Maybe if you had an
female.
E at the end,
we
it's
wanna-
feminine.
Yeah.
Like Rian Johnson.
Maybe if you don't look like this. Maybe.
Hey,
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Yeah, Loris, what would you do? Because I'm trying to put myself on Mike's shoes, and I don't think I could.
I
don't
think
I could-
Larez would post a video called "Here Lies Movies," a podcast about the act of cinema.
And it's only a
Like, I don't-
7-minute episode. Look, he could not commit to a full episode. It was only 7 minutes.
Somebody had to go dilate.
But yeah, that's it. As they say, all good things must come to an end.
Oh man, so it's not even like a full episode. It's just like 5 minets with this weirdo, and
he
I'm
couldn't
out.
tolerate it.
Final Star Trek.
Read the comments, please, and sort by new.
Long and prosper, everybody.
All right. Thanks for
The
watching.
Bruce Jenner of video games.
Waiting for the Dark Souls of fighting.
Okay, so
he
part
blamed
of the
it on the
7 minutes
view
is
count.
an advertisement. He couldn't
Yeah.
even do 7 minutes.
Let's see.
It's time to talk about Ack. Ryan was hitting
I
on Mike,
forget
and
about-
Mike wanted out ASAP.
Oh man, What will you do, Mumkey, if Eggy shows up tomorrow?
I mean, his hair's already long, and there's not much else he can do to change. So
I already have bigger tits than most women, so it is what it is.
Because it's just a V-neck shirt, so you can get more.
I think I'm a good friend to Aggie, but if he showed up to my house in a dress and makeup, would it be bad if I didn't let him in? like, no offense, Aggie, but I just don't want to hang out with you in that situation. I don't know. Maybe I'm a piece of shit.
Well, it'd be similar if I showed up with a loaded gun and I was like pointing it like at the windows. A psychotic break has occurred.
Yes.
We call a medical professional.
Yeah, I would be worried for my friend's mental health if he showed up in a dress.
You would not be accepting of new co-host Leggy, who shows up in a duffel dress.
I had an ex-girlfriend who was called by my audience Peggy. So it was Eggy.
Oh, God. She pegged you?
No, not like that. It was just,
So-
I refused to divulge her actual name because it was very unique, so they just called her Peggy instead, and I just didn't, I was like, whatever.
Well, listen, I based my morality on King of the Hill, and Bill Dauterive had a psychotic breakdown, put on the dress, and his friends were there to get him back in his wife beater. So that's what I would do for Aggie. You gotta help your friend go back to normal.
Yeah,
You gotta help your friend be comfortable with their identity in their own body. When I was a kid, they preached at us, just be yourself, be proud of who you are, you don't need to change. Now they're saying
That's
the exact opposite. I find it horrendous. You think I'm happy being 5'7"? No. Am I gonna go get surgery to change that? No! At some point you have to accept who the fuck you are and just live with it and make the best out of a bad situation. Because all you're gonna do is purposefully victimize yourself by looking like a fucking freak. And then why is everybody looking at me like I'm a freak? It's because, Aggie, you showed up in makeup in a dress. Of course I'm gonna say something. You look fucking weird.
Well, I'm gonna stand up for myself here. Most people just kind of look at me probably about that sometimes in that way anyway when I'm walking around unkempt in my anime clothes playing Pokemon Go as I walk around parks full of happy families, but it is what it is. But yeah.
Also, Mumkey, that surgery is kind of bullshit, though, isn't it? Like that surgery where they make you 2 inches taller, but you have to go through the most excruciating pain of like them cutting your fucking legs off and then putting like an extension so that you can look taller, but the rest of your body is still 5'7", so then you have 6 feet long legs, but the rest of your body.
It's almost a perfect metaphor for the other surgery that we might be talking about. Yeah, a bullshit, retarded surgery that makes you look fucking weird, and it's not properly functional.
You kind of look a little different, but I wouldn't say better. That surgery of now you're 5'9" instead of 5'7", but you had to go through 3 years of the worst pain imaginable, and you're walking goofy now because your legs are all fucked.
I walk goofy anyway. That's fine.
Well, but you know what I mean. Like and it's the same with. I mean, I'm sure you walk goofy if they remove your balls and penis too, right? So
no, it's probably more fluid walking. You can probably walk at a faster pace.
I mean, if you're like me and Hans, you basically lose about 6 pounds, and it must be a lot of a lot of space gets freed up. So
yeah. I agree with that. I have big balls. Is that what we're implying? Yeah. Anyway, so
we all agree, Smosh the movie, 10 out of 10. What are we doing next? Fred 2, Smosh 2?
I want to make a suggestion that we do a double feature of 2 shorter films, The Wall, since we started talking about it tonight, and Polybius.
Is that still up?
The AVGN episode?
The very cinematic, longer than usual AVGN episode that everyone cites as his masterpiece. Yes, I feel like if we do that as a double feature, it's a little bit of a break from the more corporate films that we've been watching, which have been kind of watchable. I mean, I don't think, for as much as I trash this movie, and I don't think it has heart, even when Lover has heart, or maybe Space Cop doesn't have heart, but there's something more charming about it just because someone really worked on it with their hands. It's still kind of an easier watch than some of those, and certainly more than many of the Nostalgia Critics films. But I feel like before we start to really tread down the path of the sequels, it might be good to take a step back and go more hands-on YouTuber like Doug Walker and James Rolfe.
Well, before we do that, to ease into AVGN, should we just cover the AVGN movie so that poor cinematologist...
That would be easing in. I think that's going hard.
The poor cinematologist, he deserves a chance to actually review the film without being interrupted every time.
I don't know if I agree or disagree with that yet, but I'm down to do a new episode on the AVGN movie with the cinematologist and you guys for this series, since it has evolved so much since then.
Well, Hans, we got one vote and two spots here. Where are you voting?
I don't have a say in this, you know.
Oh. Well, Aggie, I guess Aggie's the deciding vote then.
I don't.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think I ever watched the AVGN movie that I can recall.
Wow.
It might have.
Okay.
I've there was a point maybe about 2 years ago, a little less than that maybe, where I had never been super familiar. I think even with the AVGN, I didn't really grow up watching him like some people did. But he had the this whole season full compilations he was uploading to his channel, and due to the fact that I would have my TV auto playing YouTube videos all day, and generally of a gaming nature, I watched like these long video game retrospectives that got me going. I then started just kind of coincidentally watching through the AVGN seasons. At first it was coincidence, and then I went through and started watching them just out of the enjoyment of them. I don't think I ever saw the AVGN movie though, so I feel like I want to say surface level prediction, I think I would enjoy it more than the Doug Walker films. So for that reason alone, if I've done worse already, why not do something a little less worse? I say I'm in.
Okay. All right. Then it's on. We're going back to James Rolfe and AVGN.
And if you want, we can do double feature that and Polybius to get like his worst and his best, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, because I don't know if we need to do a whole episode on The Wall. We kind of covered it today.
Well, it's been a while since we watched it, Hans and I, start to finish, and it's 40 minutes. So I was thinking one episode with the two of them, the two shorter films, could have worked, but I'm down for AVGN, the movie, and Polybius.
A double feature of James.
Is there anything new?
Actually, wait. James Rolfe has another short film he did that he put out during COVID. The Hand or something, part 2. Do you guys remember this?
There's also this. I don't know if you guys have seen the superhero movie Nostalgia Critic that came out yesterday.
Well, I mean, there's an Is It Kino on superhero movie. That was actually kind of a good one in terms of those parody movies. Like, I'd say that's in the upper echelon.
Oh, really? I never saw it.
No,
we Drake Bell.
We watched a superhero movie for Civic TV.
Oh,
it
that
won
was
the
with
vote.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was Drake Bell as Spider-Man and Leslie Nielsen. It was one of the last Leslie Nielsen films.
Leslie Nielsen saved it for me. I thought he was really funny in there.
Holy shit. So Dog Walker is posting a lot. Look at this shit. 8 days ago, A Bug's Life. 4 hours ago is a Beetlejuice
What are the views on these?
And then 1 day ago, 130,000 in that superhero movie. Beetlejuice has 22,000. Bug's Life.
Yeah, he's still doing good. I bet he's making a lot of money.
Yeah, 200,000 views, depending on the ad placement. That's probably maybe 5,000, 2,000.
Yeah, he's probably got a good deal with stamps.
2 weeks ago. Yeah, he's posting like weekly. This, oof. Yeah. So,
yeah,
so the Wall.
To win it.
So we're.
No, we didn't say The Wall. We just got away from The Wall.
Yeah, we're only doing James Rolfe.
Want to do The Wall.
We're doing Polybius and AVGN the movie next time.
Okay, that sounds good to me. That's better. Yeah, at least it's shorter.
Well, I don't know about that.
Technically, no, it's not. It's actually much longer. We went from an hour to 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Is that how long the AVGN movie is?
It's an hour and 50, and then Polybius is about 30 minutes. And if we were to include James Rolfe's other short, which I'm not suggesting necessarily, but it would kind of be a trilogy, I suppose, that would be 3 hours.
Well, that's still not as bad as that. As
40 minutes of
movies,
Channel Awesome.
Yeah,
I think
or
it's fitting that
I
this is
feel-
our longest episode and it's the least we talked about the movie.
Yes, well, we got the B-Bang episode in the episode. I don't think there's any way I could parse this into 2 episodes without significantly editing it. So it's just
It's like a
gonna be-
triple crossover of 3 shows at once.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put it in both feeds, and it's just gonna be an episode of both as is because
That
it really
works.
is.
I feel like that Linkara movie is going to be as painful as the Dog Walker ones. So that's the one that I'm not looking forward to. I feel like the AVGN, fine. Like I didn't have fun with that movie.
Oh, you muted yourself.
You got muted, Hans.
At least it's not 3 hours. So I guess, yeah, I'm down. It's just, is it the nostalgia critic circle of people thing is the one where I'm kind of like, don't really want to go back to that one. So if it's AVGN, I prefer that than moving into Linkara immediately after this. So I'm good with it.
So we'll do Linkara after then. That'll be the next episode. I think we fell into a pocket dimension, Aggie. Well, it's been fun.
Shout out to all my pocket magic sprites or whatever they call them things in the Mosh movie.
I just want to say to all my great trans fans out there, I don't hate you on a personal level. I hate people who are attention seekers and narcissistic and expect every single person to kowtow to everything they have to say and to redefine everything for them. So, you can't see us anymore. I just wanted to say, be whatever you want. Just
Recording
stop,
in progress.
Stop screaming about it everywhere.
Rush those last month.
Okay, we're back.
So, you're back.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just plugging the $100 tier. So.
And I was apologizing to my trans fans.
For what?
My point is, just don't be narcissistic and don't be attention seeking, and I'll be fine with anything you want to do. You can wear the dress and have the long hair. It's okay. Just don't scream it and make a movie about it.
Yeah, if you accept yourself, that's all you need.
That's all that should matter.
Exactly. It's just
Yeah.
like, it's fine. It's whatever. I don't give a shit about your dress. Just fucking, just don't ask me to tell you're sexy, I guess. It's like the one thing. It's just like,
Just leave me alone. I'll leave you alone if you leave me alone.
Yep.
We've already been over the Matura files or whatever it was that we called them. If you like old grannies, you know what?
It's true.
Then you're already freak as it is. So sorry, you're already ugly.
Yeah.
You got to be at least 70 years old to love another 70-year-old, and I'll happily be there one day if I survive. So that's what it is.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll make it to 70. Especially with all these trans school shooters. They're probably coming for us next, Aggie.
I've been hearing about that.
Yeah. You guys see pictures of the mugshot of the latest shooter? Got some long hair on that boy.
Oh, was that the case with the one today? Was it in Georgia?
Atlanta.
Oh, it's another trans person shooting people?
It seems to be.
Man.
Don't want to spread misinformation, but it looks that way to me.
Oh no, what's going to happen with that narrative of only white men kill people in the schools? Because this is like the third one, right? Or the second one, I think.
Well, the last one in Tennessee, that was a man who was born a woman. Now this was a woman born a man. So white women, or maybe white, whatever. Anyways, women, they're finally stepping up to the plate for equality, but in the very wrong way. And I say, don't do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if the choice is shoot up your school or make a road trip movie with Will Ferrell, I guess one is preferable.
That's right.
Yeah, they're shooting. I agree. Yes.
That's the clip in the trailer you didn't see. You're gonna do what? No, let's clear your mind. Let's go in the car.
So, called me, bro. Which one is it?
Harper goes back outside for the AR-15. I was like, no, he's drunk, man. My female friend,
drunk.
no.
Yeah, she's drunk. Laura, how canceled are we going to be after this one?
I mean, I think we've said way worse stuff.
Yeah, no one that's gonna cancel us is willing to listen to an hour and 20 minutes before we get to the offensive part. So I think we're good.
Yeah, if I talk shit about Kino 13 minutes in, I should be safe talking shit about trans people 1 hour in.
We do have, there are some trans listeners of this show. Spotify will tell you if people are agender or non-binary in some of the stats, and I get to see that. And there's almost as actually there's not almost as many as like women, but there's a little lump there. There's always a little lump.
Is it strange that I said I saw the TV Glow as my movie of the year, then I go on this rant?
I think it redeems everything else you said.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to all our confused listeners. We're rooting for you that you find your real self soon.
Yep.
Yeah.
And keep it to yourself.
Yep.
Don't ask, don't tell. It's our favorite policy of all time. Shout out to the government.
Hey, here's my plug for the week. Me and Aggie are starting a weekly One Piece book club podcast. 1 volume per week on a channel called Mumkey D. Jones. So if you want to read One Piece along with us or just hear Aggie's thoughts, he's a One Piece virgin who knows nothing. Go tune in.
Are there as many of the books as there are episodes of the show?
There's currently like 100 and almost like 110 volumes, I'd say.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it's going to take us about 2 years to catch up.
That's gonna be.
And there's what, like
show.
It's like 1,000 episodes of the anime or something like that.
It's over
right?
1,100 now.
Yeah.
I think this morning, like chapter 1120 came out or something. Yeah, it's getting up there.
Well, similarly, Hans and I are going to be launching a new show called German Movies soon, since he wants to get in touch with his heritage, and we're going to be doing Alexander Berlin plots, which somebody paid for in the $100 tier. It is 12 hours long.
Wait, so instead of Showa, they found a longer one.
I'm kidding right now.
It's a lot gayer. It's a lot gayer too than Showa. Like that movie. It's It's
what
very
level of gay would you say Showa is?
Oh shit! I think if they're still complaining, fucking 50 years later, that's very gay.
Only 50? No, I guess but when they were filming that, it was probably about 50. Yeah, you're right. Hans.
Yeah.
Something like
I'm just
that.
a hater.
I don't know. But no, I've tried to sell Hans on this idea of German movies as with Berlin Alexander plots, and he wouldn't get paid anything for that. But we're in talks to do something like that.
He's got the bald head for it.
That's so true. All right, I think we can wrap up this show tonight. I think we're very close to the 2-hour mark now. It could be a 2-parter, maybe 2-parter and both feeds. That's getting a little gluttonous.
Yeah, that's too much.
It's a little too confusing for people. But on that note, I think that has been Movies for this week. Thank you for listening.
Recording stopped.
Oh, peace.
Peace, people.